Hello everybody, my name's Bill. This is SixRounds Studio. Today we want to talk a little bit more about this Stevens favorite. We're about to get started on the restoration. And before we get started, I want to answer a couple questions or common themes that I've heard since I started working on this gun 2 or 3 videos back. The chief question I've had is, why even do the restoration at all? What's your thinking? It looks like it's a really nice rifle. And the truth is that from 20 feet, it's a nice rifle. It's a good, honest rifle. But it's not in any way representative of the firearm the way it would have come out of the factory back in the early 1900s. So if it had some good honest patina, some good honest original bluing, if the color case was still remaining in the receiver, if the stock hadn't been refinished and somebody's applied a polyurethane style finish, so it's really glossy. So it doesn't look like the gun might have looked when it came out of the factory. So that's part of my reasons that the gun has issues. It's not in any way original to the way it came out of the factory, so I don't have a lot of worries about doing the work on this little rifle. Now, the other thing is, Stevens made over 1 million copies of this rifle. The only thing that makes this somewhat rare is the fact that it's a 22 Winchester rimfire. Most of these came out as 22 long rifle or 22 rimfire. There were a few other calibers that they did make these in. Some of them are more rare than others. And there's nothing about this rifle that says I need to be particularly worried about any provenance. There doesn't appear to be any provenance to this gun. So I am going to do the restoration. Now, I've already fixed the gun. I've already repaired it, fixed that extractor. I can now take this down to the range and I can shoot this gun. I could enjoy this rifle just the way it is, and I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that opinion from my viewers. But here's what this gives me the opportunity to do for you guys. I get to do this restoration, and as I go through the restoration, I can talk about some of the techniques and philosophies that I embrace when I do a restoration. Again, this is going to be cosmetic. There's not a lot wrong with this rifle that I have to go after, but there are some things. So for instance, some previous owner, I'm assuming it's probably the original owner, according to the stories that I heard when I bought the rifle in. The original owner decided he was going to wire wheel this entire rifle, the entire metal. So the bluing is all gone on the barrel. So there should be a traditional blue on the barrel. It's not. It's been wire wheeled. It looks like stainless. It's not stainless. In fact, there is a good risk that this could rust at some point. So we're going to go after that. We're going to polish this up a little bit better. We're going to blue this. So I'll show you the technique for bluing. This receiver should have been color cased. Now, I'm not going to do a real color case. The rifle's not worth the expense. But I am going to do that faux color case that I did on that Ithaca shotgun. So I'll be a little more detailed with you on how I use that chemical to do the color case finish on that receiver. I'm actually looking forward to that. Even though that Ithaca receiver came out really good, and I'm really proud of it, there's still some faux techniques that I need to learn to get this to look a little bit more original. So when I get to the point where I'm color casing or color case finishing that receiver, I'm going to take you through the process, show you how I do it, talk a little bit more about the chemicals that I'm using, and as I try to learn to do that chemical a little bit better, we're going to talk through that. I'm going to dismantle this gun, so I'm going to do a video dismantling the gun. I'm sure there's plenty of them out there. There are plenty of them out there, but I'm going to walk you through the dismantling of that firearm. Screw heads. I have to fix screw heads. I don't spend a lot of time in my videos talking about fixing screw heads. These screw heads actually look pretty nice, but we'll go through them. I'll show you how I reslot them, how I polish them, and again, how I get those things blued up. So there's all of that. Now let's talk about the wood itself. The forearm has a big chip taken right out of the front of this forearm. Whoever did the work, they sanded it down, they made it look presentable. But this side over here, it's a straight line. When you look at this side over here, there's a taper on it where apparently it got chipped and broken. I'm going to take you through the process of replacing that piece of wood to make that so that it's a nice straight cut. And then I'm going to show you how I faux finish that or color that patch in so that it disappears and then becomes seamless in the appearance of the stock itself. Now, in order to do that, I have to strip the wood. I have to strip that poly finish off or whatever that finish is. And because I'm going to strip it down, I'm also going to refinish the gun. I'm going to use my finishing techniques. So we'll be talking a little bit about finishing wood stocks over the series of this. Same over here on the buttstock. So when I look at this, whoever did the refinishing on this, they over sanded the receiver so that it is slightly below the metal. So I'm going to have to go back in there and I'm going to have to manipulate the metal a little bit so that it fits the wood better. And as I said, there's over 1 million of these things and there's no real provenance to this, so I'm not so worried about sort of taking a little bit of metal off on that radius to get it to fit the wood a little bit better. I'm going to do that. Some other things that when I look at other copies of this taper isn't quite right to the original gun. So I'm going to do a little bit of shaping on that taper. The stock itself is beautiful. The grain, the figure in the wood is really nice, but the way it was finished, you can't see it. It sort of gets hidden below the finish. I want to go after that. I've got a busted up pad. I don't know what the pad was made out of. It was probably made out of some hard rubber back in the day. I'm going to try and find, the pad is really nice, but it's busted. The toe's busted off. So there's a couple ways I can handle that. I'm going to decide that when we get there. I can either try and put in an epoxy patch, which I might do, and just use the original pad, which would be very nice if I could. Or I may see if I can't source an original pad for this Stevens, and I know some sources for that. So that decision has to be made somewhere in the process. This is original. This pad that apparently comes with this gun. Fortunately, when the pad broke, it didn't bust the wood on the toe, so that's good. So I don't have to worry about patching in a piece at that toe. We've got other things though. The lever has to be redone. The gun is a good solid gun. It's a good honest gun. The reason I'm going to restore it, first off, it's going to make a good video series. I mean, that's what I do here. I make video based on the work that I do in the shop. This is one that will make a good series. A recent poll that I put out there, I asked you, my viewers, do you prefer one and done or do you prefer series? Overwhelmingly, you guys are telling me you enjoy the series more than you do a one and done video. So what I'm going to do is try to separate these into components, and I'll do one and done video on polishing the barrel, on coloring, on bluing. So I'm going to try and combine the two. I'm going to do the series, but I'm going to be more specific or more compact in the videos that I do, so that you get to go and look at, well, how does Bill polish a barrel, or how does Bill polish a receiver? So that'll be those will be standalone videos, but there'll be videos in a series restoring this Stevens favorite. I am having a couple issues. If you watched my last video where I took the rifle down to the range, it's keyholing. I need to get that fixed. I don't know why it is. The rifling looks pretty good, but I'm going to get in there. I'm going to do a really good cleaning in there before we before we're done. We'll take it back down to the range when we're done. I noticed that there's some burrs inside the crown. So I'm going to go in there and see if I can't clean those up a little bit and see if that doesn't help. Another thing we're going to do is there is supposed to be a peep sight on this rifle, and it's all drilled and tapped from the factory for that peep sight. I'm going to try and source an original peep sight. So that might be an interesting video, me just simply trying to find a replacement sight, and we can talk about the sight, the manufacturer, what it looks like, how it fits, what it does. So there's another opportunity that this little rifle gives us for what I hope is really great content here on the channel. I think that's about it. This is a really simple little rifle, not really all that complicated, not all that much wrong with it. Not compared to that Ithaca, which was over a year on that restoration. This one I can just kind of fit this into the other projects that I've got going, and I think I can make some really great content for you, my viewers. Anyway, please feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section. Is there something you'd like me to be more specific on in the restoration, talking about things like restoration philosophy? I've been doing this for 35 or 40 years. Restorations, historical restorations, is something that I've been passionate about all these years. So I've developed my own philosophy and my own way of thinking about these things, and I'd be willing to share more of that if there's some interest in that. If you enjoyed this video, if you're enjoying the channel, please give this a thumbs up. If you're new here, please subscribe to the channel. It's how the channel grows. I am just a month away from breaking 6,000 subs, and I am thrilled about that. We've gone from 5 to 6 in short order, and if more of you subscribe to the channel, share this channel out, we can really grow this thing, and we can prove to YouTube and the YouTube algorithms it's a great channel, something that is worth sharing with more folks. If anything that I do you find valuable, please consider joining me over on my Patreon channel. I'm not doing a lot over there yet, but everything, or every dollar that you contribute, helps pay for everything. I got all the cameras and all the lights and all the things that need to be maintained. That helps pay for that. If one video is good for you, consider super thanks. My buddy Jeff says it's the greatest worst name thing on YouTube, but it's true. I've had several people offer me one-time donations, not $3, $4, $5. It all helps, and it all is welcome, and it's all appreciated. Guys, I really appreciate you being here. I will see you in the next video.